Welcome and hello, hello and welcome and hello, hello and welcome and hello. And let me just add hello and welcome just for good measure, just for that cherry on top, a little hello and welcome, guys. It is three, two, one. Let's Poco. No, guys, thanks for tuning in to this very special Thursday edition of Un Poco Moss, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Let me double check that I'm not on mute. I am not on mute, thankfully. Let's see. You guys want to do nicknames? Of course, out in Vegas, they call me Little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo. And you might say, why do they call you Cornbread? Well, they call me Cornbread because I'm moist, I'm doughy, and I crumble under pressure. They call me the Tugboat because I'm short in stature, pull more than my own weight, and I'm rarely far from my home port. They call me Hurricane Lopez. They call me Stock Karen. They call me DJ Patchy Jersel. They call me MC Al Dente. If you want to be formal about it, you can call me by my Christian name, Tabasco Rojas, of course, former Montreal Expos relief pitcher. Worst closer in the history of Major League Baseball. Worst ERA. Worst personality. Um, haven't seen a pitcher this out of shape since the caveman Don Robinson, the San Francisco Giants. You guys big fans of the Nushler? What kind of name is that? Will Clark, the Nushler. They called was it Mark McGuire? I think his nickname was Big Load. There's some horrible nicknames in baseball. Anyway, guys, this is Un Poco Moss. You find yourselves in the enviable position of being in a very micro audience with your micro wings, but that's how we like you guys. We take you as you come. Anyway, let's see what we're doing here, guys. We're going to talk SoFi Technologies Incorporated, ticker symbol SOFI. I want to point out something today. I consider myself an academic. I love to learn. I love to laugh. I love to eat, particularly tacos and pretty much anything else. Um, let's see, guys. I'll get to your comments, but most of them are totally stupid. So I try to ignore those as much as I can. I hate my audience, but present company included, of course. Myself anyway. Jim Cramer, the bald prophet, apparently gave us the kiss of death on said, well, Jay Bizzles, I would kind of agree with you, but he was kind of right on calling the price action. And actually, as much as I like to give Kramer a hard time, I think he really does like SoFi. And I think the valuation concerns up in the 30s were fairly reasonable. Now, this thing's come down not 20% retracement, not 30% retracement, like 44% retracement off of the lows. And I think it's a screaming buy right now. And I'm going to tell you why. I have sort of a novel approach to how I look at short selling in this stock. Um, the question, I guess, if you want to get into my thesis or get inside my headspace, which is a very, very dangerous place to be, why would they not short heavily from 30 or 28 and then short heavily from 19 yesterday? Like they shorted 14 million shares. My buddy Jimmy Chitwood over at Midwest Values, aka Trending Stocks, let you know when that synthesizer comes on for trending stocks, I just get violent. I just punch the first person I see. Um, Anyway, so I'm going to give you my theory on actually why they short, and it's not to make money on the short sale. It's to suppress the stock price at a particular level so they can accumulate shares from retail investors and basically break your will, take your will to live, suck away your life force like a succubus in, who Chef was going to marry, and before they kind of did that whole deal on South Park where they had to kill him off. Anyway, here's just something else. This is kind of interesting. The trading today, you had the stock right at open, popped up to $19.35. I mean, you just saw this extreme false volatility, pushed down to like 1906, back up to 1955. See, it triple tested this 1955. So they wanted you to buy here and they wanted you to sell here. And then you see again, goes back to 1903 all the way back down, three more tests, 1903, 19, pulls down below 19, 1897. And then you see, upward to the right, just a nice slow rise, a lot of accumulation. Then they push down at the very end of the day. Now, where does this thing come down? Essentially call it 4 o'clock. Look at how formulaic this is. It's not only the fact that this is like a 45-degree down bubble, but look at when the big pushes down come. This is at 4. The next big push down is at exactly 445. That's where it, lowers out. And the next big push down is right about 520, maybe 522, but it's almost exactly 45 minutes later. And then the next one is at exactly 605. So every 45 minutes, the algo is making this big push down. If you are naive enough, if you are Pollyanna enough, if you are stupid enough to think this has anything to do with people looking at EPS multiples or trends in membership growth or deposit growth or anything like that, I got a bridge to sell you. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona I'd like to present you with a title for, because you are a freaking idiot. And I'm going to have Tommy come over there, hit you in the head with a ball peen hammer. Oh, he's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks? You guys love some Tommy Boy, I hope. The combination of David Spade and Chris Farley was just absolute magic. Now, I think Chris Farley was doing about 95% of the work, but they never like to give a fat guy credit. I love, love, love Chris Farley. Rest in peace, brother. A lot of demons, a lot of pain. Just a hilarious man, a talented man, an athletic man. The bit where he's dancing the dance off with Patrick Swayze, also rest in peace. I also love Patrick Swayze. Roadhouse is one of my favorite movies ever. You guys are the bouncers. I am the cooler. How do we know when to stop? I like that big fat guy in that movie too. I like any big fat guy getting anywhere. Just kind of my people. But anyway, guys, this doesn't really matter. It's neither here nor there. But another thing that's just super suspicious on the chart, they bang it off this level over and over again. And you see what starts to happen here? Volume comes in here and there's a little variance, but you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles out of the last 9 trading days where the entire range between open and close is like nil. I mean, there's a little bit of variance in the trading, but it's not normal SoFi stuff. It's clearly being held here for a reason. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about with this chart. Essentially, the shorts are the longs. They're not trying to make money shorting the stock. And that's evidenced by a bunch of different ways. They're trying to make money buying your shares as cheaply as possible. And then they're going to run this stock up over 50. Mark my words. Why is cost to borrow minimum minus 22? Why would they be paying someone to short the stock? Why would they be losing money? Because it's already them. It's the call is coming from inside the house. Why is there, they just see this big spike here from 8.79 to 10%. They shorted 14 million shares yesterday. I don't know what they did today. They shorted again today, another 418,000 shares. So short interest is 10% of the free float. Now look at the data, guys. I'm not making this stuff up. Am I on mute? I'm not on mute. Short shares sold short is 125 million. Okay, shares on loan is 85 million. You can see there's a massive gap. There's 40 million shares they're selling short. Are they naked short? No, they're not naked short because the same effing turds own those shares. It's all short long. It's all a scam. Look at who's shorting this thing. Citadel, Susquehanna, both increased their short last quarter. That doesn't account for what's going on right now. Jane Street, Goldman, D.E. Shaw. These are all longs. Look at this list right here, and then look at the list of longs. It's the same damn companies. So they're not actually short the stock. They're actually long the stock. They just want to buy your shares as cheaply as possible. D.E. Shaw increased their long position 10% while increasing their short position. Jane Street increased their call 19% while increasing their short position. Susquehanna increased their calls 43% from 1822 while increasing their short position. Look at Citadel. Now they increased their put, but I think they're long also. Susquehanna, they're short long. It's all the same shit. It's all the same scam, different day. Morgan Fudley, Royal Bank of Canada. Here's Citadel's long position. They increased their long position on SoFi by 234%, all while increasing their short because they're not trying to make money shorting the stock. They're using shorting as a tool to control and fix the price so that they can buy your shares when you run out of patience, when you run out of money, when you get margin called because of your ill-advised crypto plays, whatever it might be. They're not selling the stock short. They're maintaining a price level that they find favorable to accumulate using short selling as the tool, as the vehicle to do that. And I don't hear anybody else talking about this, but it's just extremely apparent to me when you look at the data and you look at the players that that's exactly what's going on. Now, why are they fixing the price here? Because if you think about it, why did they not short at 30? Why are they shorting at 18? Because it's not designed to make money when the stock goes down. It's designed to accumulate as low as possible. That's my theory, and I think it's very, very logically sound. Now, shares were institutional ownership on this stock has been, the fund sentiment score went down just a little bit. It was at 90, now it's 87. Not a big problem. You see, obviously, institutional ownership at all-time high, insider ownership still holding in there. But what I've said over and over again, guys, is that when you see a real move, it's going to be like Robinhood, 80% institutional ownership, Palantir, 85% institutional ownership. I think it was either Upstart or a firm before it made a big move. Institutional ownership was like 85%. SoFi is still in the mid to high 50s. So what they're going to do is they're going to churn and burn. They're going to basically, kick you in the balls until you throw up and go home. And then they're going to take your shares and run this stock up to $50. Probably when it gets S&P 500 inclusion, which I'm starting to think is not going to be in March, but probably later this year. And that's the long-term plan, guys, is to take a nice vacation, but they don't want to take old retarders. They don't want to take us unwashed masses with, dirty feet to the nice 5-star, sit by the pool with us ordering mint juleps. No way. They want to take their Wall Street friends, their model friends, their cocaine abusing turds. They don't want to take you on the trip, guys. And that's what they're basically trying to do, is fool you, drive you around, in the country and leave you for dead. Drive you out into a cold prairie. Yeah, anybody want to hear a Kevin Costner impression? Hold on, I have to pretend I have a giant forehead and no talent. I'm fond of you, Sue. I love Kevin Costner. I did like the film Tin Cup. He's really good in roles where he just makes that angry stone face and he doesn't have to act. It's like, hey, you're acting like you're this guy who. No, I love Kevin Costner. He's a talent. I don't think he's a talent on the level of like a Ben Affleck or a Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf is actually a talented actor. Ben Affleck, on the other hand, has a giant forehead. But he's directing now. I don't know if you knew that. He's directing now. Argo was a good movie. But I think that was in spite of Affleck, not because of him. Let's see. Should I read some of your comments? I don't know. They're always stupid. I want to go to Cramer's comments because I actually think what he's talking about here is very important, and I actually think he's been really right on the money the last few months on this one. So they underpromise and over deliver. The company has beaten revenue and EBITDA expectations in each of the last 18 quarters. Just listen to that. I challenge you to find another company that's done this. I mean, I'm sure there's one out there, but I don't know of them. The company has beaten revenue and EBITDA expectations in each of the last 18 quarters it's reported since going public in 2021. That's what I talk about with the consistency of the growth, the quality of the management, how they hedge, how they plan, how they see the field, how they see the future. This management team is second to none. And, you can take that to the bank, baby. It's been beaten earnings estimates for the last 9 quarters in a row. That's not shabby. There's absolutely nothing hurting this. Let's talk about why I think SoFi, and this is in the voice. I assume this is Cramer. He's writing an Insider Monkey where they put that little cartoon of him, make him look so good. I tried to put a more flattering picture on this one, but anyway, let's talk about why I think it's safe to buy SoFi right here, right now, after a severe pullback. The stock now represents a good value down here at 18 and change. Management now says they can earn 60 cents per share in 2026. My estimate is 68 cents using my 222 model that I kind of modeled after the Herman Cain 999 plan to crash the economy. That was funny. Like, what's your economic plan? He's like, 999. He's like, 9% flat tax, 9%. It's like just some gibberish. Didn't make any sense. But the flat tax never makes any sense, even as presented by Stephen Forbes. You'd have to, like this 16% flat tax, you'd have to cut the federal budget in half. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But that guy's always struck me as a little jumpy, a little pasty, a little shiny. I don't know. Something about that Forbes guy I just don't trust. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's not cheap in absolute terms, I know, but you got to remember that SoFi is on track to grow earnings at a 54% clip this year. And that's using the 60-cent figure from 39. If you go up to 68 cents, which is my figure, you're growing earnings into the mid 60s, I believe. I can't do math, but I don't have enough fingers and toes or phalanges. Sometimes I use my unit if I need an extra one just for the remainder. SoFi's got a very reasonable PEG ratio of just 0.6. The lower the better with PEG ratio. Paying just over 30 times earnings for a company with 50% plus earnings growth is a legitimate steal. Plus, the stock looks outright cheap on some of the earnings projections for the out years. Looking at Wall Street's earnings estimates, SoFi sells for around 23 times next year's numbers with just under 19 times. I think it's 19 times next year's numbers because I think they're going to do $1 a share. Again, using my 222 thing. If you didn't hear this last time, they added 2 cents per share EPS all through 2025. 6 cents, 8 cents, 10 cents, 12 cents. And as they scale, that becomes less and less as a ratio of EPS. So the earnings is slowing and slowing and slowing if they add 2 cents every quarter. If they add 2 cents this year, be 14, 16, 18, and 20. That would be 68 cents. Next year, if they just go 22, 24, 26, and 28, that would be $1 EPS for 2027. Now, if growth slows even further and they continue adding just 2 cents a quarter, which is like 20 million bucks or something, it's just, chicken feed. That would be 30, 32, 34, and 36 cents, or $1.32, which is way under the 40% compounding EPS growth that management is guided for. And remember, they always sandbag, not a little bit, but a lot. And Noto explained that quite well in his really good interview with Tanner and Tevis, the Canadian fintech mafia, or at least the controlling interest in the Canadian fintech mafia. Which is essentially that they cannot afford to miss. The market will punish them too hard if they miss. They'll be back to just sort of not a bank multiple, but like a dog catcher multiple. So I think Noto sandbags hard, and I think he's prudent to do that. And I think he explained his logic around that quite well. So don't forget these estimates again this is exactly what I'm talking about. So SoFi sells for around 23 times next year's numbers and just under 19. It's really, really stupid, I think, unless you believe the economy is going to go south big time, even if you think there's not going to be any rate cuts, that they're only going to go from 23 times to 19 times from 2027 to 2028. That they're expecting growth to slow, to a trickle, which is not going to. Dick Trickle finishing 37th. Remember that from ESPN. If you're scoring at home, or even if you're alone, if you believe SoFi's medium-term guidance, and I do because I think CEO Anthony Noto does again have the habit of beating the expectations. It's in actually trading about 17 times 2028 earnings forecast, and that's really good. And if you use my numbers, which I think are actually conservative, but a lot more realistic than these funky bald turds, it's going to be much lower. It's going to be like 13 times or something around there. For months now, I've been telling you that the SoFi stock needed to come down a bit. I was concerned it would drop a lot after enormous gains in 2025. Well, that's what happened. And to his credit, he was very much right. Now, I think that could be the tail wagging the dog to a certain extent, because I don't think there's anything natural about this price action. I think that's what market makers programmed into their computers. And I think that's what they do because they have enough shares, they have enough money, they have enough pull, and they have the tiny wings just to make that happen. Sorry, guys. I can't follow these comments. I get too distracted. What's up, Chris? Frank the Tank just scooped up some shares at 18.79. Good man. Very good idea. Lurker's wig shopping. He picks out a nice one. No, not a lurker is both busy at work and he's snowed in. The guy's got all kinds of stuff going on, but he's always here with us in spirit. The bald ghost of Christmas future, the great not a lurker, the great J Money. We salute him, whether he's here, whether he's not here. He's the heart and soul of Un Poco Mas. He's that little bit more. My beautiful bald brother, J Money. Shout out to Not a Lurker. Give him some love. Anyway, SoFi Technologies provides, wait, I missed something. So when you look at what's been dragging SoFi stock down, the AI displacement thesis, the stock feels like the proverbial baby that got thrown. I don't think SoFi is going to be displaced by AI. I think their business is going to thrive with AI. It's a bank, guys. It has a federal charter. It's not going to get replaced by Claude or OpenAI. Frankly, if I were one of those two and I wanted to destroy the banking sector, I'd just buy SoFi, or at least send out a press release that you plan to buy SoFi. That's all it would take these days. SoFi provides lending, banking, investment, insurance. The company offers, and so it goes. That's the end of that one. This is really one of the best SoFi articles I've ever seen, because if I was smarter, if I was able to write cogently and coherently and make any type of points or use any type of systems, I'm in systems. Let me quote Con Supanusin phone on that one. Great article on Seeking Alpha. I honestly don't think I've read a better article that's more logical about SoFi in a long time. What did Tony Beats say to the analyst? Like, none of you guys have a proper mustache. I can't do Tony right. My throat's kind of sore, guys. I'm getting kind of sick. I'm out of green tea. God. Oh, I hate green tea. I wish I had a nice espresso, but Not a Lurker told me I couldn't drink espresso because I'm too fat. I don't know how that follows, but somehow. And I can't sleep, so that's another thing. But this is by Pythia Research. So SoFi stock, I'm just going to go over this, guys, because I just kind of want to get through some of these points and do just a little bit of my commentary, which you've come to know and love. But SoFi stock, of course, same thing Cramer was talking about, from 33 to 19 after a 3.2 billion equity raises diluted shares by roughly 16% 6 months. Q4 delivered $1 billion revenue, 100. We don't know all this stuff, guys. GAAP income, 318 million adjusted EBITDA, 31% margin. Loan platform business, 194 million at 1870 shares trade near 30x 2026 EPS guidance of 60 cents, assuming sustained 30% revenue growth and stable credit performance. The reason SoFi declined from its high 20s isn't because the company missed something on the operations front. The reason is much simpler. The market has decided it no longer wants to pay up for a fintech story that gets financed on common equity. And I think that's a very true point. My buy rating on SoFi last year outperformed the market, delivering a 68% return in under 12 months versus roughly 27% for the broader market. Well, good for you. Don't mean to toot your own horn, but beep, beep. When the company's stock declines from 33 to 19 in a matter of months, there's a natural temptation to point to macro forces, interest rates, rotation, short sellers, or some other vague risk-off market environment as the culprit. Those things matter too. The most straightforward explanation is simply that the company asked its shareholders to pay for the next phase of the company's growth twice. And a lot of people are really upset about that second money raise. I personally was not, because I have a much longer term mindset. And I think strengthening the balance sheet when the opportunity was there, you got to strike while the iron is hot. When opportunity knocks, you got to open the door and say, come on in. What you gonna do? Let me in now. If you believe SoFi's ability to compound into a scaled financial utility with tech-like margins, you want a balance sheet that can absorb a credit downturn and still have cash left over to sign partners. And I think that's exactly what Anthony Noto is thinking. He has to, hope for the best but prepare for the worst. And he is a prudent planner. He plans his work and he works his plan. I think he measures 8 times and then only then gingerly cuts once. The problem is timing and messaging. It's the optics. It's the optics of it was terrible. Issuing a large equity offering after a massive run is a clear signal to investors that management is prioritizing optionality for the corporation, not scarcity of shares. In other words, he's doing what's best for the company, for himself, not for shareholders. And I think that's a little bit misleading, but the point is well made. And so that's kind of a fair point, I think. That's rational. That's exactly how you destroy a company's ability to negotiate a high multiple for its equity. And that's exactly what happened. People just soured on the stock. They didn't trust management. Retarders were willing to sell on this cascading waterfall down. And it's hard because this all happened so fast. If you sold there in the low 20s, then you're going to be washing. So you can't really buy back into the stock unless, you're in a retirement plan or something, or you just have so many losses because you're such a, shoe shine all-star that you can absorb that wash rule like a champion that you are. Like that guy in they used to show, and like that fat guy got shot by a cannonball. Used to be a very popular GIF. You guys remember GIFs? There were those little moving pictures. Y'all, I can whip up an impressive home cooked meal in 28 to 30 minutes. Well, I'm going to start calling you Rachel Ray. EVOO. I can't stand Rachel Ray. What an obnoxious turd. Hey, it's EVOO. It's harder to say EVOO than olive oil. And then she started saying S&P instead of salt and pepper. How much time are you saving? S&P. Just fuck right off. Fuck off. Take your curly head freak of a husband, your 30-minute meal. And you're not even making 30-minute meals because everything's prepped and ready to go. It's like being a line cook where you have everything laid out in front of you. You got cold drawers, you got your proteins, you got everything there. Your sauce is already made, your compound butters, everything else. I can make you a great meal in like 6 minutes at a saute station. I can make you a great meal in 8 minutes as a grill cook. I've done it, guys. I've done more grill cook duty than a little bit. I've been a line cook. I've been every which way but loose. It's so easy to make a meal in 30 minutes if everything's prepped. I got 20 minutes left to, tickle my wolves. Anyway, enough of my hatred for Rachel. Plus, I probably can't stand her because she's made like $1 billion off of dog food. Like that guy Curtis Stone, he made like $500 million selling pots and pans on QVC. Oh my God. Why do people love these chefs? It's like the big dust up between Guy Fieri and Joe Rogan. What a couple of intellectual heavyweights. Joe Rogan discussing like physics. It's like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. Zero. Oh man, astrophysics. Yeah, I get it. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm going to kick a proton in the leg. You kick people real hard and you have like a giant Cro-Magnon head that seems to keep getting bigger, a la Barry Bonds. But I'm not saying the guy's on steroids. I have no idea. Just when your head just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If you remember him from like news radio, he looked kind of normal. Now he looks like he's wearing a Steve Tasker bubble helmet or something. But anyway, I have no idea what I'm talking about. What's going on, Payush? Big P representing Memphis. Hillary Clinton testifying on the Epstein. Rumor has it she would bathe in the blood of virgin girls of truth. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. The more I see of those files, the more troubled I am. There's a lot of freaking pedophiles out there human trafficking these teenage girls. And it's just, I think they should all be, under a jail somewhere. I don't care what party they're from. I don't care about their political affiliation. But honestly, I don't think Hillary Clinton had any part in human trafficking. I don't particularly like Hillary Clinton. I actually dislike her quite a bit. I really like Bill Clinton, but that's just kind of one of those things. I like people are like, oh, Michelle Obama should be president or Ivanka Trump. Like, why just because you're related to somebody that was in a certain job? Like, are you going to go, oh, I want my brain surgeon's wife to do my surgery? Like, oh, I want my, whatever. I want my dentist daughter to do my root canal. Well, is she a dentist too? No, but Hillary Clinton. Like, it takes a village. Well, fuck off. Just fuck right off. Anyway, I'm very angry and bitter today. I'm having a lot of back pain, probably because I'm so fat. And I sit in an unergonomic office chair. They should get one of those chairs where you like kneel, but I like fall over, break my teeth on my standing desk. I got a standing desk, but I need like reminders when to put that thing up and down. I sit at my standing desk. I'm there for a couple hours and my feet hurt. I sit at my sitting desk, which is the same desk, just lower, and my back hurts. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Guys like all-terrain vehicles. Know what I mean? I have a little drinky poo. Know what I mean? Anyway, the real SoFi story is a pivot from balance sheet growth to fee compounding. Whoever this fucking person is, they really get it. They really, really get it. They see the risks, they see the opportunity, and they actually see what's going on with the evolution of this company and what Noto's building and what he's doing and what levers he's pulling and his long-term vision. So again, great article. Go to the Hillbilly Airport every day. Oh, yeah. I know Billy Jack's a fan of former President Clinton being from Arkansas. He's a sassy man. I'm from Arkansas. Have to get Nolo and Bounty Jewels. Yeah, dude, I want to do this rock opera, but I just don't have the balls. I got tiny little balls. I mean, I'll do it, but it's going to be terrible. I mean, and that's never stopped me from doing a bit before. But people are not they think it's like, people used to see some of my act. They think they think I'm a singer. I'm not a singer. I'm a comedian. It's off key. It's not a bit. I can't sing. I think the Q4 numbers are legitimate. They crossed $1 billion adjusted net revenue. They hit $174 million in GAAP net income. They extended the string of profitable quarters. They hit $318 million in adjusted EBITDA. Sorry, guys, I got phone blowing up here. Hopefully it's not a lurker. Oh, it's Princess J. Oh, yeah. Even better. Even better. Love me some not a lurker, but no Princess J. Anyway, they hit $174 million GAAP net income. They extended the string of profitable quarters, $318 million adjusted EBITDA, 31% margin. It looks like a classic inflection and operating story, and in many ways it is, except what interests me less than the first billion quarterly story is more a function of what the composition of that growth looks like. So You guys can see these numbers: adjusted net income, adjusted EBITDA, adjusted net revenue. We already know all this stuff. I don't know why I clicked on it. SoFi is trying to become a hybrid of a digital banking platform, a consumer finance product layer, and a third-party capital servicing and distribution platform. And the loan platform business is a big part of that. It's a way SoFi can grow in a big way while keeping risk optional. In the most recent quarter, it produced 194 million adjusted revenue. That's a number that will change. That's a number that will change what SoFi becomes in a credit downturn scenario. The other signal that I keep coming back to is deposits. If deposits go to 37.5 billion, the company is not just doing app growth. That's what I mean. They're not selling fake members. They're not. The deposits prove it. The deposits are a tangible proof that they're not just pulling in people who are signing up for the app for a bonus. They're pulling in permanent or very sticky banking customers and taking market share rapidly from mega banks, regional banks, and credit unions. You could see it. Their deposits are shrinking. SoFi's deposits are growing extremely rapidly. And that is the durable competitive advantage because it allows them to fund their entire business for 2% less than they would have. There's no bigger advantage than that in this industry. And I don't know if anybody else is going to be able to catch up unless they want to buy SoFi for a massive premium. I don't know what Noto would sell this company right now for. I think it would have to be $45 a share, quite honestly. Because I'm always honest. I'm often stupid. I'm often wrong, but I'm always honest. The company is replacing expensive funding with a real banking moat and reducing the cost of carrying those loans. That is important because it is only one of the I'm sorry, I can't read today, guys. That is important because it is one of the only things that a fintech company can achieve that an incumbent bank cannot easily replicate without repricing their entire deposit base. Again, I'm not saying this is sustainable over any given period of time. I'm saying that in this is a real thing that you can do, not just marketing speak. They are doing it. Look at how fast this guy's a little bit pessimistic for my taste, but I'm an acquired taste anyway, like bean soda. If you've ever seen the film, what was that movie? I'm gonna get you, sucker. That was a funny movie. What makes you think you could be a black hero? It's like I used to play high school football. Guess the bean soda. That was funny. I don't know. I like the Wayans brothers. That was just hilarious, though. Low budget movie, but just funny. Those guys coming out of the pimp hats shooting. I'm not as concerned with SoFi delivering on launching more things. They can. The question is, can they deliver on making those non-lending engines predictable enough that investors stop treating the company as a sentiment stock? It's already happening. The trend is your friend. The trends are unmistakable. Now, can those trends reverse? Certainly, but we haven't seen evidence of that. We've only seen evidence of the trends going in all the right direction. The Galileo thing is not growing as fast as we'd like, but I think it's stabilizing. I think it's going to be just fine over time. Financial services revenue growth has been excellent. They are leaning into cross-buy, monetization per product, and the one-stop shop positioning. It can work. It just needs to work like a compound interest annuity rather than a feature list. It has to produce money. It has to produce revenue. It has to produce profits. It has to compound. It has to grow. It has to be predictable. And we're seeing all that come to fruition. We are seeing the fruits of their labor. You want to see my fruits, you have to go over to my OnlyFans. It's called Chubby Wubby. Wasn't chubby, was he? He was. He was. He definitely was. The tech platform business is where I have my biggest concerns. Every tech platform business looks great until a large client. I don't know why people are so concerned about the tech platform. I mean, it grows, it does what it does, but bottom line is the bottom line. If the other businesses, if the loan platform business grows like wildfire and the tech platform just grows moderately, but the bottom line, still grows at 60% this year, I mean, what do you have to complain about? Nothing. Nothing, honey. SoFi can continue to grow this business. It just needs to grow with a cleaner net retention and less one client mattered visibility before SoFi. That's just a bunch of bullshit, dude. Sounds like the Tevis 3000 2.0, my in-house AI that I've developed through painstaking research and billions of dollars. The key learnings here would be I can't afford to hire the real Tevis and his team, so I've got this $3 sound effects noisemaker of corporate jargon. We do have to be disruptive, Tevis. Thank you. We are gaining traction. I think no one would agree with that. Do you want to go deeper? I'm thinking you're right, Tevis. Let's get back to it. The Tevis 3000 2.0, everybody, probably the least advanced AI of any U-turder. At 1870, it's no longer a stock that trades like a winner in a straight line, but it's a stock that trades like a company that must execute cleanly. This is true. This guy speaks the truth. Using management's 60 cents EPS for 2026, the multiple works out to low 30s. I think it's going to be 68, so I think that would be more mid 20s. And that's a whole different world from traditional banking and very demanding world for a financial services company. Am I on mute? I'm not on mute. What am I being asked to buy at this price is a series of assumptions. I don't really think you are. I think the evidence is there. I mean, of course, you are buying, extrapolations or projections or estimates or whatever, but management has continuously under promised and over delivered, and I see no reason to believe that that's changed. I just don't see any evidence of that. I'm an evidence based investor, a Joe Friday investor. Just the facts, man. Don't tell me your story. Don't tell me your narrative. Don't try to bat your eyes at me to get out of this DUI. Just the facts. I don't know why a detective would be pulling people over, but anyway, guys, it's willing suspension of disbelief, I suppose. A couple of days ago, New was within $1, the same price as SoFi. Now it's $4. That's where the play is. New went down to $4. What? That can't be true. Is that right? I've sold a bunch of $20 and $40 SoFi put spreads expiring June 28. Received 1,500. So max profit is 1,500. Max loss 5. That's why people like those investments. I'm also near a 6-figure position, so not normal. It's now part of the POCO lexicon. Yep. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. You got a good point there, Sean Vaughn. I'm so fucking paranoid about this soft mute button. It's not even funny. It keeps me up at night. I was buying, also leaning calls. So premium option, Google Beach Slayer, lowest buy was 451 for 200 shares. Yeah, guys, I was loading the stock in the force. Thousands and thousands of shares, sometimes tens of thousands of shares. I've had a lot of conviction on this stock. I know, people who work there. I know a little bit about this company and their roadmap. I know a lot about Anthony Noto, being he's my biological father and everything. So anyway, furthermore, if revenue compounds at 30%, just the EPS compounds in the high 30s range through 2020, their management's saying 40% minimum EPS compounding. It's looking like 55, 60, even higher this year to me, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. These guys who do these estimates and articles are notoriously conservative. They're like, well, take what you really think it's going to be, cut it in half, and then take off 10%, and then take off 5% just for the waitress. As the company is targeting the current multiple rapidly compressed based on forward earnings power. Moreover, even a slight increase in valuation in the mid-30s multiples based on 90 cents to $1 in medium-term EPS has substantial upside from current levels. However, it's an important point that the quality of those earnings is rising as fee-based revenue and the loan platform business grow, helping to take balance sheet intensity out of the model. Critical stuff, guys. So in short, I do not view 30x as expensive. If the SoFi thesis plays out and the company continues to move towards a platform-like model, if the company continues to grow its earnings away from balance sheet risk and toward fee-based revenue with increasing margin expansion, the current valuation looks a far cry from the late cycle valuation normalization. When the cycle turns, rates, credit, and the fragility of the platform narrative. What is most concerning to me is not rates, but what rates do to demand, credit, investor patience all at the same time. That is, if the easing doesn't happen, SoFi is stuck in a world where demand is lower and market is less friendly to. Listen, they were growing extremely fast in a high rate environment. They're growing extremely fast right now. Even if easing is slower than Anthony Noto expects, I think SoFi is going to continue to grow rapidly because realistically, guys, they're not creating new market share. They're not blazing a trail. This is surface water. This industry is already everywhere. Everyone uses banking, financial services, these apps. So really all you're doing is dividing up that pie into a bigger piece for SoFi and smaller pieces for their competitors. They're not fighting the macro. They're fighting, their competition because the growth is not coming from some magic show, no magic trick. The growth is coming because people feel that SoFi is a better option than what they have right now. So I think even if times get tough, even if interest rates, sort of stagnate or come down a lot slower than, Mr. Market would like, SoFi is still a more attractive proposition for consumers than the competition, no matter what. They're going to pay higher interest. They're going to give you a better deal. They're going to let you refi, for free on your student loans, not, charge you fees, all this stuff. A lot of these businesses, we don't even know where this is going to go. Home lending, business lending, student loan reaccelerating. I mean, I think business banking, I think business checking is coming. I think there's a lot of really low hanging fruit to grow revenue and therefore grow earnings. And I talked a lot about incremental margins, how SoFi is going to be bringing so much of every new dollar to the bottom line. I think it's going to really blow the depends off some of these analysts. And they're going to be sitting there in a poopy diaper. If the loss profiles materially shift, the market will start to view SoFi as a lender instead of, but again, SoFi has better lending criteria, tighter underwriting than any of their competition. They take the super premium borrower. So if the shit hits the fan, SoFi is still going to be better off than their competition, even if though they're less better off on sort of an aggregate basis, they're still going to win. They're going to win no matter what. They're set up to win. It's in the bag, baby. If the loss, lastly, there's a risk related to capital. While the 2025 raises have provided SoFi with a stronger balance sheet, they've also altered the way investors view SoFi's decisions. I think that's true. If SoFi needs to raise more money quickly in a big way, even if it makes sense from a business perspective, my view will likely get worse along with the stock price. And I don't think SoFi is going to do another major dilution unless there's some type of huge acquisition in the works, because I think Noto kind of saw the way retail. Noto went on with Tanner and Tevis because he knows that he needs retail. He knows it. He knows this share price absolutely falls apart and goes back down to 14, back down to 12, back down to 10 without retail propping up the stock, because they want to get us off the stock. They want to own 80%, insiders own 15%. And we're fighting with family offices and, rabid dogs for that last 5% as this thing makes its run up to 50 with S&P 500 inclusion and other catalysts. Oh my gosh. It's not a lurker. It's not a lurker. Let's get him up on the big board. Sell options indeed, Raymond James. I agree with you. Yeah, that's why you own that huge financial company. I'm sitting here like a pud. Know what I mean? I do know what you mean, Payush. Know what I mean? It's not a lurker. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? He's bald. Know what I mean? But we love him anyway. I'm gonna hide you. I'm gonna hide you because you're too beautiful. You're taking all the attention away from me. Chris is working 65 to 70 hours a week now. People manager on a salary. I'm screwed. No, you're not. Just buy more SoFi. Danny Deals has got the Larry King microphone going on. Hello, this is Larry King. I would like to take a call now from my 9th wife. She loves me. Wait, this isn't her. This is my 10th wife. Dude, those suspenders, that guy looked like one of those crows in that, what was that kind of like racist cartoon they used to do? The crows. And I can't remember what show it was on. It was on like maybe Woody Woodpecker or something. To have those crows that would speak like Southern dialect. I ain't never seen a crow. Like, why are all you crows are black, but you're not like African American, just black in color? Like, what does a dove talk like? Some kind of like, angelic white lady. So some of that stuff you could do back in the day, you just couldn't really get away with now. Or maybe you could now, but you couldn't a few years ago. I don't know. The world is changing fast, right under our feet. But anyway, well, if SoFi needs to raise, and I already said that, I treat SoFi's reset like an opportunity, not deterioration, but execution and capital allocation will be key to whether this powerful compounding story or just another fintech cycle. Guys, I am to a point with the management, but particularly with the deposits. Like, look, 2025 net income margin was 13%. This year already, they're projecting it. I don't know if that's in here. They're projecting it to go to 18%. Look at this. 2025 actual 3.6 in revenue, 4.65 coming in. So adjusted EBITDA, 29% margin in 2025, looking for a 34% margin in 2026. Net income, you're looking at a 13% implied net income margin 2025. This year for guidance, they're looking for 18%. Think about that. And that's using the 60-cent figure. My 6 cents says this ain't worth 6 cents. Josh Payne doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. I don't know if I'm Dumbo or someone else is Dumbo, but Heckle and Jekyll, that's right. Double wide's a wealth of knowledge. I like it. I'd already told you they used to call me double wide. People didn't like to share a seat with me on the school bus. They only get one cheek on there. Hey, can you take the aisle seat? I'm like, no, I can't. I just can't. Can't do it. I can't go. You got one cheek on. I'd have half a cheek on, or half a cheek off, as it were. So anyway, that's extraordinary to just grow that margin in 1 year from 13% to 18%. But I think they're going to grow it to more like 20% because I think the incremental margins are just way better than people realize. When they bring in revenue on these loan platform business, what additional costs do they incur to bring in that revenue? Nothing. It's fee-based stuff. You're going to start to see these tech-type multiples because you're going to start to see tech-type incremental margins. The margins didn't look that good at the beginning because they were lending, because they were getting everything set up. Now that they have everything set up, that's when so much of the new dollars are going to fall to the bottom line. It's going to feel like a fucking Category 5 hurricane inside of a rainstorm with cats and dogs coming down on your head. Know what I mean? Anyway, I really have no idea what I'm talking about, if that wasn't painfully obvious. But guys, just go back quickly to my theory on this short interest. They're not shorting the stock. They're using short selling as a tool to control the price to get you to sell your shares. If they wanted to short heavily and they thought this stock was so shortable, why wouldn't they short from 33 or 32 or 30 or 28? Why would they short 14 million shares yesterday at 19 bucks? Why does these candles start to look so funky? Why do these candles start to look so funky? Look at how tiny these are. That's not SOFI. You see these little candles come in when they hit these dips. You see the algos working so hard after hours, pulling the stock down. I mean, I don't know. Maybe everything's being pulled down. Yeah, Bitcoin's struggling. Bitminer, PagerDuty. Somebody talked a lot about that when it was up today. Microsoft, Celis up again, SLS up again. Iova made a massive recovery today. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's not really a recovery because it was a fake drop anyway. But if I don't miss my guess, I think Iowa short sellers were working pretty hard there. I probably do miss my guess, but touchdown Daniel Kirby filed Form 4. Little Form 4 action. Yeah, so they return. Oh my God. Short interest of the free float is up to 37% on IOVA. Guys, buy this stock hand over fist. NFAFEPO. This stock's going to 7 in the short term. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have crystal balls. And when I do, they're pretty musty. But this thing is going to 7 in the short term. You cannot stop it. The science, they're going to have a therapy, best-in-class therapy for lung cancer. That's going to be 10 times the size of the melanoma market at least, and they're going to sell it all over the world. These TIL therapies, it's revolutionary science, and the ORRs they're getting in these therapies is just off the charts. And the durability of that response is just completely off the charts. They can't even measure the thing after a couple of years because it's still working, guys. This science, and then the whole knock was that they don't have their fiscal house in order. Well, contraire, mon frere, this new Colleen, whatever her name is, the CFO, assume it's a woman. It sounds like a woman's name, but Colleen Roche or something like that. Freaking brilliant. Tip of the cap, young lady. I'll lose my mind if SoFi drops. See, Paul, that's not going to happen because that's a structural thing. They have to acquire tons and tons of shares, and they're not going to be able to short against. They're not going to be able to fix the price. They can fix the price against retail buying. They can fix the price as they accumulate nice and slow, but they're not going to be able to fix the price in S&P 500 inclusion and trade the stock down. It's just not going to happen. What will he do with all the fresh released capital? Well, if you guys follow Elijah Chang, who's a really good SoFi guy, he went through the balance sheet or through the 10Q, and he was basically going over the fact that they have completely paid off or almost completely paid off all their high interest debt. Now, I don't think that was with that second money raise. Could have used part of the first money raise for that, but strengthening the structure of the business, preparing the business for the future, preparing the business for possible stormy weather. I don't think that's what the second money raise for. I think we're going to see what that was for quite soon, but I don't think they can tell us just yet. Let's see. The response could be delayed and slowly rise over the quarter, but I think it's not coming any sooner. I agree with Chris there. I think it's probably going to be later in the year. I think that's why they're pushing down as hard as they can. Don't sub and like. Not a lurker is trying to trap you in an abusive relationship with old cornbread, old mini water. Why do they call me mini water? Because I'm short, cylindrical, and I'm all wet. Mini water for when you just don't know if you're thirsty. You want something to drink? It's like, I don't know. We'll have a mini water. Kind of on the fence. Windbreakers for clients. I'm all over it, Katie. Get me a nice 3XLT and we're in business. Guess I need to start looking at IOVA. Well, Frank the Tank, you know, I was trying to get you guys to buy it back in the ones when it had that big dip, and then it's been in the low twos all day long. Do I still love it under 4? I still love it under 4. But is it possible it retraces a bit on this big move on earnings? Because it did go up like 30% one day and, 37% short. It just depends. Can the shorts kind of regain their footing and take control of the stock again after the excitement goes away? I don't think so, because institutional ownership on this one is absolutely through the roof. And it's easy for shorts to push around us retarders. Send us on home to grab our shine box. Dance the drink over here, Spider. Dance the drink over here. Dow puts down 300, all red. Yeah, it is. It's a bloodbath. What happened? Trump put some new tariffs on the world? Or what the hell happened? Oh, man. Yeah, the futures. Well, okay. It's not really a bloodbath, but yeah, everything's down. It has a way of doing this thing. They've kind of played some shenanigans after hours. I don't know. The whole market's been bleeding. There's no doubt about it. The Crows were on Dumbo. Was that it? I can't remember, guys. I was a little before my time. That's okay, Josh. You can call me Dumbo. I don't care. I don't really take things personally, guys. I'm very close to acknowledging Brando's greatness. I'm not there yet. He was telling me, he was like, it's so funny, like people who try to like do a gotcha on me. He's like, oh, Chime is better than SoFi. It's like, you don't own either one, bozo. You're only saying that because Chime is up 14% today and SoFi is down. And their earnings weren't even that good. But I try to explain, I bought some Chime when it dipped below 20 because I like the growth. And I think there's a lot of potential. And I love the space. It's not just that I love SoFi. Like, I love this industry disrupting mega banking, because banking has been the same damn dinosaur forever, my entire lifetime. They shit all over customers and people hate it. Nobody wants to collect 0.01% interest on their savings while they're paying 38% on their freaking credit card once they accidentally miss a payment by one day. SoFi helps you get your money right. I definitely don't like Chime like I like SoFi. It's probably like 1% of my SoFi position. But it's like, you're not going to do a gotcha game with me, Big Hoss, because I was buying Chime off the lows while you were just a glint in your pappy's eye. Don't come at me with any gotcha games, you freaking turds. Had about enough of you guys. SoFi's definitely going back to all-time highs. SoFi 30 by end of March. Wow. Not a lurker calling his shot like the babe, like the big bambino. I'm going to start calling Not a lurker the big bambino. I like it because his head kind of looks like a well-polished bean. Yeah, I think it's going to go to 60 tomorrow. Not a lurker is nothing if not bold, but he's also smooth. That's why we like him. He's like a Miller Genuine Draft, bold and smooth. No chance, no chance. Gilgo, I remember Gilgo was saying it's going to settle 18, 19, and thus far he's been quite correct. Just curious, do you think SMCI or SoFi has a stronger short-term upside? More upside, more chance of going. SMCI has more explosive upside than any other stock in the market. It includes SoFi is a much more stable, much safer play, consistent growth. Look at SoFi. They grow, 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents. Their growth chart looks like a freaking staircase to heaven. Where were you that built the ladder to heaven? Anyway. No. SMCI has a chance to go up much, much more in the short term. I mean, they keep running that stock from you know, the 20s to the 60s over and over again. So SMCI could be up in the 60s again, like a week, couple weeks. SoFi is not going to go up to 40 in a couple weeks. Now, I think SoFi has a much more sure thing in terms of growing over time, but just completely different investments. I think SoFi is very, very de-risked, consistent, quality, where SMCI is kind of all over the map. They have these huge concentrated products, but I mean, SMCI would be my answer there. It doesn't mean I'm buying more SMCI than SoFi. I'm also buying SMCX and SOFA, which SoFi now has that leveraged 2x fund. I was buying SOFA off of 18. I'm very, very comfortable with that. Dynamite Thoughts is here. Tim Sweeney dropped a SoFi track before we get a sound bit of the SoFi rock off. All right. Yeah, guys. Okay. I might do it tonight. I keep saying that, Billy. I like that better. Not lurking anymore. I'm going to the gym. Good night. Good night, Gilgo. Your name still rhymes with dildo, but we love you. Payush at the carnival where you have to pay to see the freak show, like the person with 6 fingers or 3 legs. Well, you might be talking about my good friend Oleg Third Leg Alexandrov. We go to the same gym, guys. No pun intended. Hitting us with a ladder to heaven. Why not, Chris? Why not? Complete idiot. Anyway, guys. SMCI short count. I gotcha. Let's get this for double wide. We got SMCI short interest. It was basically neutral today, nothing coming in, nothing going out. Looking at 17% of the free flow on short on that one. Yeah, sort of, it's been very consistent, that short, for the last couple of months. Interestingly though, on this one, see, it's the complete opposite of SoFi. If you remember, SoFi had 80 some million shares on loan and 125 million short interest. See the opposite here. That's a sign they're not going to attack, or the short long. This is much more, I think, of a conventional short, and I think you could bear that out if I looked at the fund shorting SMCI. But yeah, the short interest 87 million, where shares on loan is almost double that at 150 million. So they're in a big position to attack the stock. Utilization only 48%, short score 67. And if you want to just see the funds shorting it, we can discern whether these are some short long turds or what's going on. Short interest here. Yeah, they have similar deals, 16.72. So it's probably a fairly accurate depiction of the real series of events we're experiencing right now. So yeah, Jane Street just cut their short a little bit. See the top two: Susquehanna, Citadel increasing their short. Belvedere, I don't really know who that is. Peak 6, I see their name all the time. DE Shaw cut their short a bit, but Wolverine shorting the hell out of it. Wells Fargo shorting the hell out of it. 0.72 raising their short. Bank of Montreal raising their short. Look at Goldman Sachs though. Goldman Sachs was short from 47. They reduced their put position by 60%, where a company like 2 Sigma increased their put 500%. Goldman's one of those I like to follow, in addition to BlackRock and some of these others. But Citadel, extremely important as well. And you see Citadel increasing their put there by 6%. I wouldn't read too much into that. It's a minor increase, but yeah, they're short from 42. So it is what it is, guys. The shorts and the price fixers can keep things where they want them over the short term. But over the long term, earnings, multiples, EPS growth, those things take over and the stock gets priced on its merits. Sometimes that takes a long time to happen. It can be extremely frustrating, and that's why they shake you out of the stock at the lows, so that you can sell the dip and smell the rip, and then try to explain things to your tax man and your ex-wife why that spousal support and child support is just not coming in. Is the code cocaine on the discount code? There's no drugs on this. This is a family show, Katie. Family show. Gave it up a while ago. Thanks. What are you guys doing? You partying? Who's this? Felix. Options pay. 1 kilo of Peruvian wham. Come join me in Monaco for a summit. Oh, and options. Oh, yes, and powdered wigs. Felix. Hold on, let me rub my gums. My 6 golden retrievers each have higher incomes and higher IQs than all of you. You just don't get the feeling, Felix, so like, the dude can party you under the table. His hairline says that. It's like, kind of like looked like a young face and he had like an old hairline. I have a hairline like I think if it wasn't kind of curled and permed over, he'd have a hairline similar to the comedian Gallagher. That dude who used to smash the watermelons. Shut up, Barker. Get off my claim. It's like, this is my claim, Tony. Fuck you, Barker. I got no respect for you. You got no hair on your apple bag, know what I mean? I don't respect any man whose mustache doesn't cover up at least his testicles. You got a salt and pepper mustache covering your testicles. I can have a discussion with you about business. That goes for my daughters too. Your mustache has to cover at least down to your belly button as a female. Different requirements. We're letting our standards slip on mustaches and lutefisk. Love it when you do. Yeah. Dude, I love Felix. He's such an interesting guy. That all these jobs, like corporate attorney, right? He just must be like one of these super executives who just write his own ticket. It looks like he wears a lot of foundation, or else he's just extremely pale. Guy's white as a ghost. Maybe he was using a little Colombian nose candy for foundation. It's like got one of those with powder things. I find myself in Monte Carlo with 6 golden retrievers, 3 top models, and a bowling bag full of party favors, if you will. Designer drugs. I bet Felix is like stone cold sober all the time. Just a couple times I've seen him come on just real hot, like out of character. Felix, dude, what are you talking about? Is SMCI your biggest bag right now? And like in my biggest holding? No, SoFi I have way more SMCI. SMCI is not even close to one of my biggest positions. Not even the ballpark. I have a lot, but I have a fairly sizable stock portfolio. I've been pretty fucking successful at this, so yeah, no, it's I'm not bag holding SMCI. I'm way up on SMCI. If you count calls I made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on that run. Like $500,000. I don't know. I made a ton. I mean, that was the profits I showed last year when I took $10,000 and turned it into 450,000. That was just some lucky call action. But anyway, shit happens, guys. Some years, actually, no years I lose, but some years I don't make that much. Yeah, no, I'm like right now on like some of my positions, I might be in the red technically, but that's not how I look at things. I look at things as like the totality of, you have to look at the totality. When viewing architecture, it's important to look. Guys like something about Mary. What's up, Brian with a Y? Now we can get this party started. Double wide is up. Double wide's very smart, man. Are you wearing a visor in your avatar? I like a man in a visor. Might have been a frat boy over at USC where he started making those mobile home repair videos. You guys subscribe to all my viewers too. I have channels like Double Wide. He's got a big channel. Go subscribe. What the hell? I think it's Double Wide who has a big channel. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, maybe I'm pumping you up and propping you up. We do cocaine. Frank the Tank, dude. You're a airline pilot. You can't be doing drugs, man. What is this? Who are you, Whitaker? What am I, your John Goodman? I'm gonna come give you an IV and sober you up. We have to go through a tribunal of that pale lady. Did you drink the vodka? What's the question? Did you drink the vodka? Any of you on this panel want to go to the booty house? He's like, no, we do not want to go to the booty house. Did you drink the vodka? It's like, or did Miss Romero drink the vodka? It's like, I'd much rather go to the booty house and answer this question. You guys like my Denzel impression? I've done some bad things, but I made promises. Promises to someone I love very much. I'd never do this again. But when I met this weird little white girl in a diner, I decided to throw those promises I made to my wife away and go after these guys once again. Do you really need a 5th equalizer? Well, I'm getting very old, so I'm in Europe now. I'm in Naples taking on the mafia. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? What about Denzel talking to Felix? Oh man, I wish there were less voices in my head, guys. But they all have a home. Let's see. I am way too much tonight. Let's see. Yeah, double wide is up and he's up big. I'm up. I'm over 50 alerts for you. What's Carl Seamark tonight? I need a new mattress. Yeah, Carl Seamark. Carl Seamark makes the best mattress in the game. Mattress King of Chicago. He's teamed up with Abe Froman, where if you purchase an inner spring mattress, you get a free sausage, and if you purchase a what's that other one that blows up? Sleep Number bed, you get a free kielbasa. And that's not a gay euphemism; it's an actual sausage. So I've said many times, I am not gay, but I'm extremely gay friendly, and I like to party. Take that any way you want. Let's just say I've had a twig and berries swinging in my face off a trapeze more than a few times. Let's just say I've been known to put on a pair of tights and dance around a little musical theater. I don't know. Anyway, not that there's anything wrong with that. Bob, don't make me do my Godfather impression. Oh man, yeah, I almost got picked to play that little kid in the Babe movie. I was down to the last couple people, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, but they ended up picking some kid that was like more Italian looking. They didn't like me as the Bambino. Like, who's this fat kid? He's too blonde. Ah, we could put some shoe polish on his head. Nah, he's also too fat. That's like when you're, it's not good when you're too fat as a child actor to play John Goodman. That was before John Goodman lost weight. That was a ridiculous role, him as Babe Ruth. He's like 500 pounds. I like that bit on Joe Rogan. He's asking somebody, he's like, you're always rucking. I forget who he was talking to. He was like, I think he was talking to Stavros, that comedian. He's like, do you have giant calves? He's like, it's just talking about how fat guys are basically always rucking. We're just like carrying 100-pound bag on your back. Like, I'm extremely athletic. I mean, I'm not athletic, but I'm a really good athlete. I play a lot of tennis. I used to before I hurt my knee and my foot. So that's kind of the downside of being fat, but I'm always rucking. If you're doing hard, like I walk to work, back and forth a lot of days, like it's like 7 miles. And I'm doing that with like, if you're 150 pounds, imagine just piling another 200 pounds on your back and walking 7 miles. You're always rucking as a fat guy. Probably why I have like 30-inch calves to match my 69-inch waist. It's not that bad. I think I'm sitting at like a 46 pant. If I go high, you guys know how it is. You get the Italian pants as a fat man. You got to make the decision whether you go over the belly or under the belly. So you got to go, if you sit down, you got to like loosen your belt, or if you go under the belly, it's a whole situation, guys. It's a whole situation. Bottom line, stay healthy, eat your veggies, do your exercise, and you won't end up as a big, fat, useless turd on YouTube. So after hours, yeah, they're hitting the stock, but this is fake price action. No retail is selling SoFi under 20. I mean, they are clearly. That's why they have it down here, but you shouldn't. Look at this little pattern. A little triple test of 1885 in the after hours. What the hell is this? What in the freaking hell is this? It's like a Burton snowboard crown or something. What in the actual fuck is this price action? Yeah, I'm a gay fish. What do you think, Sean? Of course I like fish sticks. I actually love Kanye West's music back in the day. Don't love all the anti-Semitism and craziness, but what are you gonna do? Damn, dude, just get into maternity spandex. Yeah, no, I'm not actually that fat, guys. I'm just it's kind of a bit, but I am fat. I'm working on it. Working on it. Yeah, no, I definitely. It's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, Walter Sobchak is like the greatest character probably in the history of the world. Shomer Shabbos. I don't drive. It's a Pomeranian with papers. You don't board it, dude. It gets cranky, loses its hair. It's called papers. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Vladimir Ichinav. I am the walrus. Like, I love Donnie. Just Steve Buscemi is so great in that. Well, just an absolute tour de force. Philip Seymour Hoffman is Brandt. Oh my God, rest in peace, man. What a talent. Even his throwaway roles, like in Along Came Polly, the guy's just fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Why do so many of the people I love in terms of show business die so young? Because they do too much drugs, I guess. All right. J Money says you guys should sub and like on the bat phone. Do what you will. I think it's a huge mistake, but if you want to take a leap of faith, subscribe to J Money's channel. It's a ASMR head shaving. He uses a straight razor. Just shaves his head every hour on the hour. Keep that thing looking fresh and clean. Dress so fresh and so clean. Ain't nobody dope as not a lurker. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. Yeah, he was a hell of a talent, man. Yeah, Big Lebowski is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. Seen it way too many times. I usually watch the beginning, and then as it gets into the sort of the musical mod stuff, I kind of like fade away and fall asleep. I mean, of course, I've seen the movie. What was the private detective's name? You know, fellow brother Seamus, Private Dick. Like, just so driving that weird little car following him. That is our concern, dude. Anyway, guys, this show has market zero. You're entering a world of pain, Smokey. It's like, I love the answering machine message. The guy from the bowling league, like he pulled a gun during league play. Like, if it had been in a different scenario, it would be acceptable to threaten Smokey with a Colt 45 because he was over the line. I wasn't over the line, dude. You mark that frame, you're entering a world of pain, Smokey. Family restaurant scene. My friends didn't die down the muck and Ludong and Hill 31. Walter, what does this have to do with Vietnam? It's not a direct corollary. It's so good, dude. It's so good. What does the Tevis 3000 2.0 have to say about SoFi? Let's see here. We are gaining traction, but we're also kind of getting drilled right in the nuts. That is a no-brainer. I specialize in no-brainers. Let's circle back. Yeah, we'll circle back to that later, Chris. Market zero. Just like he goes outside, he just pull the gun, the cops are coming, like, would you calm down, Walters? Like, calmer than you, dude. Calmer than you. Great. Delfino. Yeah, that's right. Good pull, Billy Jack. Good pull, Caps. Did you talk about Jane Street? In terms of what Tevis was talking about with the manipulation in crypto, I didn't talk about it. No, I didn't have time to watch Tevis's video yet. I will later. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, Carl Seamark. Great Carl Seamark. Somebody above needed a mattress. I told him to call you. I want my commission. I get a small commission on every mattress that's sold on this channel. An inner spring is 5%. Sleep Number, 10%. Memory foam, 10%. That's a funny bit on Tosh.0 where he's the mattress guy doing 50% off. It's 50% off. Like 50% off and 50% off. Everything's 50% off. Anyway, AI will bring Chris Farley, John Candy. Yeah, at least don't bring back John Lovitz. Liar. Back to the movies. Yeah, Josh Payne. I don't know if it will because, you still have to like pay their estate and the copyright and all that. And I don't really think AI can be Chris Farley. I don't really think AI can be John Candy. Maybe I'm wrong. AI could certainly be me. AI could certainly be the Bald Prophet. Oh my sweet Jesus. I've been talking for an hour and 13 minutes. Am I on mute? I'm not on mute. Wouldn't that be funny if I talked for an hour and 13 minutes on mute the whole time? Just talking to myself. Anyway, guys, I got to go. This has gone on forever. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Either SoFi will go up or it'll go down or it'll go sideways. And either way, I still will not acknowledge Brando's greatness. I might. I still think he might be MBA certified. Biggest dummy I've ever seen. I used to go on the penny stock boards. He's like, you're an idiot if you buy this stock. It's like, I used to own this stock and I sold it. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You're a big fucking schmuck. And then he followed me around making comments on YouTube like, SoFi's a $5 stock, you idiot. I'm like, well, I guess. I don't know. Think what you want. But I think Brando might be MBA certified. I'm not positive about that, but I have my suspicions. They have similar horrible personalities, but I don't know. If SoFi goes back down to 14, I will acknowledge Brando's greatness. That's a promise. Anyway, guys, I need a mattress that is broken in by a team of Romanian gymnasts after an orgy. That's funny. Well, Romanian, whatever you can get. Yeah, get Bella Caroli right on it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Un poco mas. This was ostensibly about the SoFi stock, but it kind of went far afield as I want to do. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. It's Un poco mas. We'd like to thank the great Naughty Lurker for making it back. Thank all of you. Chris, Billy Jack, can't name everybody. Carl, Sean. Thanks a lot, guys. Josh Payne, appreciate you. Frank the Tank, of course, one of my fast becoming one of my favorites, an Un poco mas Hall of Famer. The great Billy Jack and the Butt Crack Boys checking in as always. Who else we got here? Basically the same people. Mac P, Mac 10. Guys like some little West Coast, little old school West Coast stuff. Too Short, Mac 10, DJ Quick. I love DJ Quick. Ooh, the great Katie Miller. I'm sorry, Katie Wentworth. What the hell am I talking about? You're not married to that bald guy in the administration. Chris, Billy Jack, everybody, Carl. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate you. Double wide, appreciate you, man. Whoever else was here. I don't have time to scroll through this whole thing. Gilgo, but Gilgo already went to the gym, getting his fitness on. The great Payush Bhatka, out of Memphis, Tennessee. Good on you. Great Dynamite Thoughts. Dynamite Thoughts is here. Good to see you, Dynamite Thoughts. And through his emissary, he is introducing us to great Tim Sweeney. Great Paul Gardner here. Again, my bit, we loved you in the Rockford Files. Kind of a weak bit, but I couldn't really think of anything else. But as a gardener, you know, you reap what you sow. That's even worse. So, guys, I don't know everybody else is here, but yeah, I think that's about it. There's way too many comments. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, guys, it's Un poco mas. Appreciate you watching. I'm crushing your head between my fingers. Peace. I'm out.